Greetings everyone, The Truth Will Rise, back with a new video. And I know the other day I didn't pay much attention to it. The president and vice president, they had their press conference and they're going to I guess look into quote unquote gun control based on the Newtown, Connecticut incident. And I'm going to say this, my whole stance on gun control, it's not, the issue is really not gun control per se, it's people control. Because first of all, these people kill me whenever something happens, and this can be anything, and I'm not making light of the situation. Let me say that, let me back up, because what I'm going to say may sound bad, it may sound harsh, only if you approach it from an emotional standpoint. But if you hear what I say and approach it from an intellectual, logical standpoint, what I'm saying makes a lot of sense. But I digress. Now, with gun control laws are really ridiculous in the sense that they only stop people who follow the law in terms of them getting guns, obtaining guns, making it harder. The knucklehead criminals, it don't matter to them, okay? You outlaw drugs, how's that working for you? You outlaw murder, how's that working for you? I mean, and I'm not saying that to have lawlessness, but what I'm saying, when you, something like that, when oftentimes, and its studies have shown that a well-armed public is typically one of less criminality, and it's also a freer populace in a sense, because you know, the government or whoever, they're not going to come start no static with you if they know everybody's strapped up. But I think there are some things that do need to be addressed. I think it's more along the lines of people control, like I said earlier. A lot of times these are criminals and other things that are getting these guns. You know, it's never, I won't say never, let me never say never. And oftentimes there's often extenuating circumstances with these gun laws. But what I wanted to know, and here's what struck me when I heard this, and again, let me repeat this, I'm not making light of children getting shot. But what I would like to know is why all of a sudden now, after this incident, when in places like Chicago, the president's own city, brothers and sisters are getting cut down and been getting cut down with gunshots, with bullets like weeds, and he hasn't said anything. There hasn't been a moratorium or a call for gun laws or anything like that. Then nothing, and it's happening right now. I mean, the situation in Connecticut, that doesn't happen every day. But people are getting shot in Chicago every single day. That's his city, and no one has said a word about this. And why don't you ask that? You know, while you clowns are running around talking about, oh, my president this, my president that, which, by the way, you sound like damn fools. Okay. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. No one has asked that critical question. Why not here? Or the other areas across the country. Let's address why the violence is happening. It's not just, you know, all of a sudden Newtown happens and all of a sudden gun control or guns in the wrong hands are the major issue. That has been a problem. But I guess in a sense, as long as, you know, it's just young brothers and sisters who would die, and that's okay. That's what, in a sense, that says to me. And, you know, I know some people may not like what I'm saying, but I'm not here to say what you want me to hear, what you want me to say. I'm here to say what needs to be said. You know, it's like the YouTube version of medicine. It may not taste good. You may not like it. You may think, mama was mean and daddy was mean for giving it to you, but at the end, that medicine make you feel better. And that's what I'm doing right now. To sit there and think that all of a sudden that's going to solve the problem. And is asinine. Because let me tell you this whole thing, whenever something happens, there's a knee-jerk reaction, to think that all of a sudden legislation needs to be passed. That's all. You can't, in a very real sense, you cannot legislate problems away, but you can legislate problems into existence, if that makes any sense. Just in the same sense that a politician cannot improve your life, but they can darn sure make it worse. Okay? The end of the day, it's up to people. You, me, you watching this right now. The family. That is ultimately where the power to fix problems is. It's always not a bunch of overpaid, puppeted lawyers who write the legislation in such a way it's so freaking hard to understand anyway, because it's not meant for you to understand. Do I have all of the answers? No, I don't. And I am smart enough to sit here and say that. But what I can say is the issue is not to try to outlaw weaponry or something to that effect. There's definitely some things that need to be tweaked and done. But all of a sudden, I just find it kind of odd that all of a sudden now gun violence is a problem. I've even heard stories that people are looking at, do video games cause violence? No, people cause violence, because a lot of us, we grew up in the 80s and 90s. I played Mortal Kombat till the wee hours of the morning. Never once have I walked out of my house and ripped someone's spine out of their body. Never done it. Imagine that. One of the most violent video games out there. Never did it. Never never threw a spear at someone and told them to get over here. Somehow, we managed to do that. So, I think when we do things like that, we run to someone else, and it's so disempowering at the end of the day. When in reality, the people are the best, most permanent, lasting vehicle for change out there. So if you really want things to improve, if you don't want to have to look for another Sandy Hook incident, well, there are a lot of interesting things about that, but I'm not going to get into that. But if you don't want to turn on the TV and see something like that happen, it's up to you. It's not up to a bunch of people in Washington who don't know you and don't care about you to fix it. And if you're looking for something like that, then you're going to be looking for a long time. Okay? You'll be out there looking till the cows come home. It's up to you. If you want to make some changes in your life, in your community, it starts with you. It doesn't start with people who are sitting in many cases, almost literal ivory towers, and they just throw down these rules, and we just roll with them. It's up to you, because you have the most direct impact on what goes on in your life. And once you understand that, then you can start to make the appropriate changes and do the work necessary to make it happen, rather than be lazy and wait for the government to do something. No, you get off your keister and do something. You get off my keister and do something. We can all do better. It's not about waiting for someone on high. It's about us. So if we want to fix this issue with violence, just violence, period. Which, by the way, cheeseburgers kill more people than guns. Heart disease is the #1 killer, but there's not a moratorium on cheeseburgers at McDonald's. But I move on. Just thought I would throw that out there, food for thought. But if you want to fix it, it's up to you to do so. So for 2013, that's one of my goals. That's one of my charges for the community. Not just in our community, but as a whole. To start to take back some responsibility and really get things turned around. You got to start with yourself before you can expect it from anywhere else. It's not going to happen from Washington. It's not going to happen from the state capitol. It's not going to happen from the city capitol. It starts within you. And until you learn that, then we'll continue to devolve down the path that we're on. If you don't believe me, just keep looking around. Truth will rise. I'm disgusted. I'm out.